Being a nerd means you have a deep love of a thing that brings you great joy and you could talk about forever. So these are largely, this is all comics. I've been collecting since before I can remember, and I don't believe I've ever sold anything. I have way more than this in storage. My title is Associate Dean of Students and Director of the Center for Support and Intervention. My title in the world, and probably the bigger part of my identity, would be a comic book fan, superhero fan, aficionado. I love comics and I love superheroes. When I was a kid, I had church and I had comic books. My favorites were Black Panther, Cyborg. I loved Cyborg. I still love Cyborg. Black Lightning, Vixen, Mal from the Teen Titans, the Martian Manhunter. And then of course, I'm a Superman fan. One of the things superheroes mean to me is the idea of a model that I can look at to model behavior that is the right thing to do rather than the convenient thing to do. Superman doesn't snap somebody's neck, he finds another way. Batman doesn't kill people, he finds another way. When I think of kids and the inspiration that it's going to take to fix the problems that we've made, Black Panther is the role model. Chadwick Boseman is the role model. And in the real world, not only in his role as Black Panther, but in the real world, this is a man who modeled that behavior. It's such a tragic loss. I feel such an honor to live in a time in which this is happening. I'm being perfectly honest. When I see people out there who are putting themselves in harm's way because it's the right thing to do, and the thing that makes them able to do it, even if it's just another 6 feet, is the power they draw from this idea of superheroes. Somebody who is a human who rises up and for a moment is able to do things that are superhuman. If you ask me about real world superheroes, those are the real world superheroes. I think of my mom's life, and she suffered with lupus the last 10 years of her life. I'd wake up in the middle of the night, my mom would be crawling across the floor because she couldn't sleep because she was in so much pain. And I'd be like, Mom, what can I do? Can I help you? And she'd be like, there's nothing you can do. Like, there's no help I could give that would alleviate this. But she'd get up in the morning and tell me a joke or be silly or things of that sort. And the 6 feet comes from her. She's like, sometimes all you can do is watch it walk another 6 feet. This is just some of my favorite statues. So I'm working with students in distress and students in crisis. My office has a ton of comic book stuff, and I do that kind of intentionally because when you're meeting with a student who's in distress, they're in trouble and they're looking for help. So they walk into my office, and this has happened so many times, is that they're sitting in my office and they're a little nervous and a little scared, and you have a student look up at a statue of my thing and go, is that Superman? And I go, yeah. And that makes me human and makes me approachable and allows me entree into the student space when they're having a tough time. How has comics and nerdhood helped me in 2020? Well, I know what it's like to have a supervillain in the White House. I know what it's like to be beaten down pretty far and figure out a way to stand back up. I know what it's like to really look at what blessings you have and see what you can do for others.